meeting of Buckfield Select Board to order Tuesday, August 4th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. on the dot. No quorum. Agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Total on that is $347,418.25. Reports and correspondence. Library report.
I didn't see it.
You want me to just summarize a couple of things
On
from
the
it?
back, my apologies.
Would you like me to just fill out a few things? So, as always, lots of great things happening at the library. Authors coming to speak for the children's program. Provided a brunch for visitors. About 35 people attended that. They have book club meetings at the library. New patrons are joining. And in August, they will end their summer reading program with a pizza party for children who have participated. A homeschool meeting for parents on August 20th. That's just some of the stuff going on. We would encourage people to go check out the library. For a little building, it's
Yeah, it's busy.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yes.
Commissioner of Education, Buckfield withdrawal plan, conditional approval, and contingency. We have to approve anything on that?
No, it's correspondence for your information. I included the letter as well as the recommended changes, just so that you guys knew what was going on, and it was addressed to you as well anyway, so.
Yeah, so that's going back and forth between the committee's legal representation and the school board. Still.
So the Commissioner of Education has granted conditional approval. There was final approval of the withdrawal agreement is contingent upon the resolution of the following items. 5, special education, 504 students, language must be replaced with language in the attached template, which I included in your packet. And then 22 additional considerations. F, career and technical region 11, page 20, edit needed. There's an extraneous 23 at the end of the paragraph. A public hearing's been scheduled for Tuesday, August 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Buckfield Junior Senior High School. The RSU 10 Board of Directors has already posted public notice, and it'll be to go over the merits of the proposed withdrawal agreements as revised to address the contingencies above the hearing, and then, yeah, it's been scheduled. So basically they're at that public hearing portion of the process.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So all of the towns in the district will be invited. The superintendent will make a presentation. The committee is going to make a presentation as well. They've also, we'll get together a flyer. I think we have to do final approval on that on Thursday. That flyer should go out to all the residents in the 3 towns that are separating. But I don't know how that's going here. There'll be a lot of folks there.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
So anybody that would like to read the letter, it is a part of the packet, which is online for today's select board meeting.
Also note, that's the same night as your select board meeting, so you may want to, at the end of the meeting, make a change to your meeting schedule.
Yeah. I've got a note, so there are other business. Number 4, approval of the minutes of the July 21st, 2026 select board meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the July 21st, 2026 Select Board meeting.
Second.
Further discussion?
We're good.
All those in favor? Great. New business, 2026-27 paving RFPs, opening of bids.
Did you bring that with you, or did Cameron provide it?
Just Cameron thoughtfully provided that to me.
Sure.
Just received 4 bids before the deadline. We got one from Northeast Paving, one from Spencer Group Paving, one from All States Construction, and one from Pike Industries. And as you read them, I will try to type them into this spreadsheet.
Sorry, I started casting it before I read it out.
That's all right. It'll get to me too, I guess.
Read that one. I'm reading this one. Yeah.
We'll read them out loud after. Spencer,
Yes.
you haven't seen that one. It went around in 2 different directions.
So everybody's seen this except for...
Nope. No, it's, yeah, it's
Why don't you look at that and then look at that?
I'll give you my computer after, Bob, so you can read it off of that. It's the original one.
You.
What's that?
Set up and over there, unless you want to read it.
I can do that.
All right.
And that was the last one.
We don't have any more.
I didn't look at the one, and
No,
she's
just
done
one.
that.
That's
No.
her packet.
That's
Yeah,
my
there's
packet.
four.
Where's the, there's one I handed.
Which one are you missing?
Oh. The one that you started out with, Azalea.
Oh,
Thank you. You don't have to wait for me.
Cam's gonna put them in the spreadsheet, read them off for us.
You putting
Yeah,
just the finances or the finances and dates?
I haven't gone that far through. I've looked at the total so far.
Okay.
Let me skim through them, unless you guys have them written down.
Let me tell you what they are.
I was planning on just being a scribe over here.
the Spencer group is October 26th through June 27. This one's gonna be
Like
harder.
is after September.
Yeah, knowing that we put this RFP out there, I had put in the RFP that if it was agreed upon by both parties, then that they could change.
And ended by 10/31.
If they did it this year, yes.
Hmm?
If they did it this year, but there was a caveat in the RFP that if both parties agreed, because the last thing we want to get into, in my opinion, is a situation where we don't complete it and then have to come back and do it. I know some people have preferences with doing a base in the fall and doing a surface in the spring, but
All states says will start and end in October.
okay. Oh. Was I looking at it?
So cover page.
Am I missing something?
I
You haven't looked at that one yet?
I haven't looked at the Pike one yet, but I wasn't sure if it included our little cover page because that had it explicitly written.
There's a Northeast one.
Right here.
Oh. Wait a minute, I got it. I was missing half the
Oh,
stack.
there it is.
All right, Pike was project start date after 9/11, but before 10/31. That's part of that one.
Yeah.
There's the Northeast. That's Spencer. Am I missing one?
The
Northeast paving.
And Northeast paving was project start date 9/1/2026, project completion 10/30. All right. How do you guys want me to read these off? By road? Do you want me to read off each road, then the total, and then go
could
to
you
the next
also
one?
screen share?
I tried, but for some reason, I don't know how to make that happen on Apple.
Okay.
Oh, look, there it is.
So sad.
I swear it wasn't there a minute ago.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got Northeast paving for Brock School Road, 227,500. For Allen School Road, 217,800. for a total of $445,300. With a project start of 9/1 and end by 10/30. Spencer Group Paving, Brock School Road's 206, 479.25. Allen School Road is 197, 239.50 for a grand total of 403, 718.75. All States for Brock School Road is 253, 058.75. Allen School Road is 243, 206.50 for a total of $496,265.25. And Pike Industries is for Brock is 204, 560.49. Allen School Road is 196, 596.98 for a total of $401,157.47. Sorry, I didn't read the. I'd already read the dates, but to reiterate, Spencer was October 26th to June 27. All States was start at the end of October.
Start and end.
And end in October. And then Pike Industries was start 9/11 and finish by 10/31. Did I cover it?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then as far as I can tell, Spencer Group is based out of Turner, Allstate out of Richmond, Pike out of Fairfield, and Northeast Paving out of Bangor.
Cameron, what has been our experience with any of these companies?
I mean, since I've been here, I've had experience with Spencer and Pike. They both do good work. I personally don't have, I haven't worked with All States or Northeast, so I can't speak to that.
Okay.
I know the ones that we have dealt with have been responsive to issues and questions, and they're available throughout the project. They work well with Public Works, so.
I'm not seeing a note on why the Spencer Group timeline is so extended compared to the others. I'm assuming that's because they prefer to do the base in the fall. And
I think it might be a subcontractor thing.
okay.
Well, I put it that way, in case we should buy up a little bit.
Okay.
We would have to.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
So on the RFP, I did say you would be opening the bids tonight. I didn't specify, I don't think, whether it'd be awarded, but with the dates in here, I would imagine that you guys should make a decision.
Yeah.
What I will say is, looking at the current budget, there's only 2 bidders that are within what we have allotted from town meeting.
Yeah.
2 of them are outside of that.
Yeah.
And that would be Spencer Group and Pike Industries.
Mhm.
Give me a second, I'll tell you exactly what that was, because I don't remember.
Okay.
Do we have other representatives here or anybody?
Do we have representatives from everybody? Or?
I think the only one who just, I'm with Pike and
Like all states, man. Okay.
And
Not
I
anything
may have
they
spoke out of
add
two.
or say.
We could
I
ask.
think
Yeah.
So we've got $430,000 in that line for paving. And it's roughly 1.5 miles. It's a little bit more, but
For the sake of discussion, I'll make a motion that we accept the bid for Rock School Road and Allen School Hill Road from, sorry, did I mess that up? From Spencer Group Paving LLC.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Discussion?
The reason why I opted for that one is just their local business. I recognize the name, familiar from us working with them. And the cost difference between Pike and Spencer was not extreme, but open to other discussion and arguments.
So with the Pike end, I know we have a representative for Pike here, so I was just curious, that you're looking at getting it done by October 31st?
That would be the plan to be done by October.
And then Spencer, you just, it may be done by then, but you,
The plan would be to have it done, but it wasn't.
and that,
But
We could
it's
definitely-
saying starting on 10/26, so there's no way you're starting October 26th.
October.
Oh, okay.
I may have typed that. I just was hearing and
Oh,
typing.
okay.
okay, so
Yeah.
some
Oh, okay.
Late September, early October.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry, I was reading incorrectly,
If
thank
we
you.
did not get it done by October, we wouldn't want to do surface at least,
yeah,
if possible, to push this. If the weather stays good, and, no,
any further discussion on that? Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
From this information,
Yep.
the scales are balanced, and I don't have information as far as quality of work, or I haven't had a chance to read.
The quality from both
True.
contractors has been fine.
Right, and that's what,
Ideally, me personally, and this is just a personal preference, I would like to see the work done this year as opposed to pushing it out into November and then doing a surface in the spring. But
I'd be open to rescinding my motion and accepting the bid from Pike for Brock School Road and Spencer for Allen School Road, or would entertain another motion from other members.
yeah, my preference would be to have it done, because I remember,
I've been getting complaints about that road every winter for 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
I wish we could have got it done last year, but
right,
nobody wants to pay that increase in their taxes to be able to do that full stretch, and they just didn't have the funding for it. But that stretch of Brock School Road is, well, you're traveling on it every day. It's horrendous. It beats the heck out of our plows.
oh,
I mean, having a surface would be, having a base would be fine. I'd like to see the whole project wrapped up so that next year I can focus.
well, as I recall, last time we did half and half, it was a big problem. And we have
Which one?
I don't remember, it was recent.
I don't, no, last
Was it
time
Paris
I think
Hill?
last time we did half and half was East Buckfield Road. Bear Pond Road. I think that was that one, but it just got late into the season. Yeah, that was the last time we had to do it. It wasn't bad. I mean, it just, I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
Yeah.
I like doing it all at once.
Yeah,
But they also know more about roads than me, so.
yeah, I mean, the only, basically, a lot of towns like the basic one. Way to pay for. That's the only bad. Some towns won't let us do it all in one hand.
I mean, no matter what, we're gonna have to add some material to that road. There's a lot of clay in that road, so whoever does it, like, I have to coordinate Public Works and make sure that we're ready to go. I know when we did North Buckfield Road, that was one of the things we ran into. We had basically there was no surface, it was all clay. So we had to add like 700 yards of gravel to that.
Yeah.
And so some cloth, because that road was never going to stay smooth. I mean, we've had a problem with that stretch for a long time, and I don't want to run into that same situation up on, going up that hill. I mean, you can tell just by looking at the road that it's clay.
Yeah.
So did you have conversations with any of these companies about needing to coordinate with the town and have that happen, or?
Both of them know that we've always, you know what I mean, throughout the project, we communicate. Like Dennis, when he did that project, he communicated with us about it. And that material would come out of the all roads budget anyways, but it's something we're aware of because we just don't see the sense in putting $400,000 into a road and then letting it sink in a year or two.
That's not a factor
Right.
in the decision-making for this. That's
Yeah,
logistics
both
to
the
be
vendors,
worked out with.
both the vendors work with us well. I guess the only question would be is if it was immediate, just making sure that they both have crews that can get that material to us, because I don't think for the luck we're having with our trucks, we're going to be able to haul a serious amount of gravel if we need to.
So who would we be looking to haul it?
We would help, but like I said, to get 700 yards of material in there in a matter of a couple of days, my crew's not capable of doing that.
So is this, we'd be asking for assistance from one of these companies, or?
Whoever the winning bidder would be, I would want to know that they have the capability of hauling that material in if it came down to it.
Or you have the availability of the truck?
They should have availability. I'm not my truck, if I would take it. I would think they would be able to work that.
Okay.
That's really my only caveat to that. As long as they think they can get the material there, I'm telling you, I just don't have the manpower or the truck capacity to do it. Especially if it ends up being 500 to 600 yards.
Yep.
I see a hand raised online if we're taking public comment.
There's
Who was that, Judy?
Looks like Jill.
Oh, Jill?
Jill, did you have something?
You are muted. Thank
I just want to say, as someone who uses our road, not every day, but all the time, I'd prefer it be done before winter because it trashes my car.
Amen. Thank you.
I just don't want to get into a situation where Public Works goes out there and starts tearing up a section of road, and then we run into a situation where we have to pave over it just to get through the winter to get to the next one. That's my big avoid.
I would definitely finish it for the extension. Whether it's that.
All right, so there's a motion and a second.
Well, we had a motion and a second, and then the motion was rescinded and a new motion.
I just said that I would entertain rescinding my motion. I did not rescind it. It's still seconded.
Okay.
I'm going to say I think Spencer's still on the table.
Still just looking at Spencer. I'm not sure if splitting the projects between Pike and Spencer would produce the outcome we're really going for. Does that help at all? What are your capabilities? Yeah.
It's all basically.
They'd literally be running into each other.
Yeah.
We stay on your side.
Yep. Right. Here's your turf. Here's mine. All right.
Yeah.
The only real solid feedback we have here, or differentiation, is a town manager expressing that for myriad of reasons, getting everything done in the fall would be his preference, and I would support that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that, if that's the one factor.
Yeah.
You're the one coordinating all of this, so if you think that's best.
Well, it becomes Preston's headache as soon as you make a decision, so. Like I said, I have nothing but positive stuff to say about both contractors. I have no,
Yep, I personally
and the
just,
price is so close.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And I am of the mind that I try to keep the dollars as local as possible, so,
Right.
which is why I made the motion for Spencer. So, so long as we're not going to have, have torn up roads going into winter, I'm happy. So I'm on that road too a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Any further discussion on this? All in favor of Spencer Group? Those opposed?
Right.
There we have it.
I'll send that up to everybody tomorrow, because I know everybody's gonna email me and ask for it, so I'll send the sheet out to them tomorrow.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Yes,
a lot.
thank you. All right, authorized rear end repair on Public Works Wheeler Truck 16.
I put an estimate in your packet. It is from Big Rig Shop. I asked Preston to solicit bids. This is the truck that went down a few months ago, and I told you we were waiting until the new budget before we had it fixed. So it's been sitting around for a while, but we definitely need to get it fixed before spring. You did get this estimate from Big Rig Shop, which includes the wrecker service and the labor and everything to get it over there. He also contacted Whited Peterbilt, who basically told us it's going to cost more than $8,000. So there's two. We didn't get a third, but I don't think you're going to find it any cheaper. For $6,700 to replace that whole rear end.
Yep.
I think that's a fair.
We made the decision as a select board that you didn't need three.
No, that was the fire truck. This is a different one.
Oh, this is a new $8,000.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Hard. I
Hard,
apologize.
hard to keep track sometimes.
And they'd be able to fix it relatively quickly, which
Yeah,
is
They're right over in
important.
Oxford.
We need it ready. We've been kind of limping along with the two trucks that we have, and we just did brake work on two of them, the two that are running. So those are in good shape as of right now. Last I was reported to, but we definitely need the third one.
I'll make a motion that we authorize rear end repair to Public Works Wheeler Truck 16 with Big Rig Shop Incorporated with a total estimate of $6,782.60.
I'll second.
Further discussion? All those in favor? All right. Authorize the town manager to cast a 2027 MMA Executive Committee ballot.
It's just another ballot for their executive committee. There's only one person under every line.
Another year of stiff competition.
If you don't want me to do it for you, I can sit here and make you all sign it, but if you
I'll make a
authorize
motion that we authorize the town manager to cast the 2027 MMA Executive Committee ballot.
I'll second.
Further discussion? All
Thank
those
you, Cameron.
all those in favor? Yeah. All right. Committee appointments?
Oh, there isn't any.
None, okay. Select board comment? Is that kind of like other business?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to look at moving the August 18th
Oh,
meeting because that's the night of the public hearing for the school. So, does anyone have a preference?
Ahead a week or a week later or looking at a different day?
Let's see.
Ahead a week would be next week. But we also have the 25th this month for an alternative Tuesday.
So either way, we'll have
Either way, we'll,
back-to-back meetings.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
What time is the meeting then?
It says 6. I imagine it's gonna last more than a half an hour.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Sandra had mentioned coming in early and doing our meeting and then going over there.
There's no guarantee that
That will be done
we're gonna
early.
get done in an hour, right?
Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
Could intentionally keep the agenda light. I mean, really, it would just be approving warrants and any appointments or whatever, and save any of the big stuff for the following.
No, whatever, I mean, whatever works.
Ideally, yeah, so we're not having a meeting
Mhm.
3 weeks in a row, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if 5 o'clock works for everybody, or 5:30, 5 o'clock, I guess, right?
On which night?
The 18th.
On the 18th.
5 o'clock on the 18th?
I prefer that 5:30 if we think we can swing it,
Okay.
but if
But
not,
it
no
starts
worries.
at 6.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just coming in and doing like usual rigmarole stuff, we can table everything else to the next meeting, so long as it's on urgent, so. You know.
And it's just at our high school, right? So it's not a far ride.
Up to y'all.
I think we're gonna have a really
Yeah,
hard time
that's gonna be
starting a
pretty tight.
meeting and then getting done, leaving here,
Signing,
finding parking.
whatever.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I understand why though.
No,
If
it's okay.
if we do a
No,
different
I
day.
schedule it for 5, and as long as that works for the majority, then it's totally fine.
I think even if you did 5:15, you'd be all set. I think
Okay.
that'd be easier-ish.
Doesn't
Does it
matter.
need to be a
Not split hairs.
Tuesday?
Wouldn't
For
have to
me.
be. You could do it Wednesday, you could do it Sunday if you want. I don't know if I'll be there, but
Maybe Monday or Wednesday work for,
I forget what days you say.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Either or.
The 19th would work for me, but
I think Thursday, well, that's later on. Is that committee still meeting after that, on that Thursday?
yeah, I'm sure we'll have.
I think
a
I
meeting
have
that
it in
night.
May. Oh, I don't know.
So the reorganization committee has a meeting on the 20th, so
Yeah.
that the room's vacant.
5 on the 18th would be preferable over the 19th for me. I can just see if I can go in early.
It works for me.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
All right,
Motion.
make the motion.
So moved?
Okay, I'll second it. For any further discussion? All those in favor? So on the 18th, we will have our select board meeting at 5 o'clock prior to the public hearing at the high school at 6 o'clock.
Perfect.
All right, public comment. Oh, unless there's any more select board, I'm sorry. I didn't want to jump ahead here.
Nothing
No.
from me.
All right, public comment. Yes, sir.
Hi,
hello?
my name is Jason Long. I live in Buckfield. I am the middle school principal at Durable Middle School, 156.
Okay. No, shoot. Thank you.
It's funny, I got an ice cream with my son earlier today and I discovered I had some of it remaining on my shirt. Anyway, I've worked in RC10 and was part of the withdrawal experience as an employee when 56 left 10. I've lived in Maine all my life and I have nostalgia for the way things used to be. When the idea of withdrawal was first being floated around, I was interested in it. As someone who lived through it and works in a smaller district, I like a smaller district. But what brings me here tonight are 2 concerns and an ask. Okay, my first concern is the reason why I was on the early exploratory committee and then I withdrew from it. And part of why I withdrew from it was because we had reached a point in building our sort of estimated budget that I didn't think I could support it anymore. And I didn't want to stick around and just be a pain in everybody's butt. So I said, you know, I'm gonna step aside, and I did. I want to talk about, from my experience, why I feel that The financial concern is really serious. So the budget that is in the withdrawal agreement, which is, it's just a projection. It's only meant to be a projection. But it's $12.34 million, which would create a year-to-year variance of well over $600,000, I think was the number. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. That $12.34 million budget has mistakes in it that, unless you read that stuff every day, like, you wouldn't really think to see. And I worked with most of the people who are on the committee, and they're wonderful. And if there are literally like 1,298 lines in the spreadsheet, like, it's not uncommon to make a boo-boo. But in the labeling of the columns in that document, they took the current fiscal year, which is in school fiscal year. The fiscal year we're in right now is 27. The next fiscal year, if we were an independent district, our first fiscal year would be 28. And what has been stated is there's no intention in our first year to, like, automatically plan to fire anybody who's a teacher or an ed tech. Right? There's pretty dramatic ideas about how to change administration, and that's fine. I have concerns about that too, but it wasn't a boo-boo. It was in the spreadsheet. So if you take a look at the RSU 10 budget, and this is online and you can find it yourself, and you take the column for fiscal year 27, and then you take the withdrawal committee's budget, which, credit to the withdrawal committee, everything's online, and you look at what they say the 28 budget is, every single salary and benefit line is the same number, which means they did not calculate the year-to-year contractual increase nor plan for an increase in benefits. I am not a gotcha kind of guy. I met with someone I consider a friend of mine who's on the committee. I brought it to that person's attention. I then found the minutes and found that the question was asked, and that he was then told, no, the consultant built that in, don't worry about that. That kind of fired me up a little bit, because somebody's got their wires crossed somewhere, and don't take my word for it. Go look at the two documents. It's plain as day. And the year-to-year increase is substantial, because it's everybody who works there other than administration. Okay. Other things that are not even in your $12.34 million budget. So in each of the cost centers you see in a warrant, there's that last cost center, that, like, other thing. No one ever really knows what goes into other, and if you're lucky, there's nothing there. If you are a district who doesn't feel 100% certain that your food service is going to break ahead or even, that's where you put a cushion. And in my own experience being part of withdrawal, your startup costs for things like nutrition and technology they're going to be higher at first than they will be later, for obvious reasons, right? But that line is still a zero. My other concern is that I don't, so there's $420,000 of carryover being applied as revenue to deal with that $12.34 million budget. That's a one-time use of the carryover, which means, which is fine if that's the strategy they want to use, but then you will start as a district without a reserve fund. With the buildings in the condition they are in, that is a bad idea. Now I'm going to be opinions instead of numbers, and I prefer numbers. The state of the buildings, I think, is a big part of why most people are interested in the possibility of withdrawal. We're all really frustrated with the condition of our buildings. But in the instance that we withdraw, we ought to therefore plan to deal with it. And there were no substantial increases for capital improvement to deal with that. And already this summer, the school board has had to meet to take from RSU 10's reserve to begin to chip away at and deal with the septic problems at Hartford Sumner Elementary School. So all of that is to say, my first concern is that the $12.34 million projected budget, it is an unrealistically low number based on those factual reasons, not just opinions of, well, I'd like to have this or that. Like the contracted, you have to give, the contracted increases aren't even built in.
Yeah.
And the people who advised you told you they were. That's my first concern. That translates to in Dixfield, and Cam's been great and has given me some information, and I emailed the town assessor today to try to get some more sort of technical information. But where I work, the towns have the ability, when we go through our budget process every year, to report back to the school district, given what you're asking at different, you know, if you're expecting a year-to-year increase of X number of dollars, here's what we could project it will do to the mill rate. And they can do those projections using the BETE exemption formula that's in part of the valuation thing we submit to the state. You can't really do that if you're in the middle of a whole new valuation cycle, but every other year you can do that and you can get a pretty accurate estimate. I'd like to be able, I think that our voters deserve to have that information as they consider it. I would pay more to be an independent, smaller district. But there's a point at which I can't pay that much more. And right now, with a $3.24 million, or whatever it was, $12.34 million budget, that results in Buckfield having a year-to-year variance of over $600,000, using the BET formula, it projects us at an increase of 2.7 mils. So for me, I own a home of $386,700 allegedly, what it's worth. Don't buy that, but all right. After the exemption, my taxes are going to go up by almost $1,000 in 1 year, in one fell swoop. And it doesn't account for all the other things that I said that aren't even in that number. That scares the bejeebers out of me. The number's huge. Maybe we can get it lower, but it's already lower than, than what it probably really is. So with that in mind, my second concern, because I tried to educate myself on this before I bothered anybody, Town of Hartford just had their meeting and they put their stuff online, and so I was able to see the draft of the pamphlet going home. Nowhere in that pamphlet does it talk about money. It's not even there, guys. It doesn't say we anticipate a ballpark increase. It doesn't say we think this will be how much it'll, like, it's just not there, cover to cover. The only time it talks about budget is when it lists off the reasons why people want it, because our taxes keep going up as part of temp, which is fair and true. But if you're asking me to consider watching my taxes go up by $1,000, to me it almost feels dishonest for the withdrawal committee to not like be more upfront about kind of the scale of what we're talking about here. And this isn't just willy-nilly projections. They were willing to put these numbers in the plan that was approved by the commissioner of the Department of Education. Those are my two concerns. The money scares me, and I think it's fair that it does. The publication that's about to go out, I don't think has enough information on it to justify our tax dollars being used to mail it home. And then my ask. My ask is, if the withdrawal committee is not going to be able to provide my neighbors with information about the range of cost that we're looking at here, I would like the town of Buckfield to please do it. Please, information's not an enemy. I'm not opposed to becoming a smaller district. I'm worried about doing it right now based on the math. And I think keeping that a secret is wrong. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a point of clarification that was unclear to me so the materials that you were concerned about, the lack of information on finances, You had mentioned Hartford. Was this something that just Hartford was sending home, or it was like a meeting that happened in Hartford that's going to the whole potential district?
It's a copy of the draft of the trifold that they were discussing at their last meeting. I was vaguely in attendance and it hadn't been finalized.
Yep.
And I do believe the reason that firm financials haven't been provided isn't because they're keeping them a secret. I think at that meeting, they were still discussing what the percentage was going to be, whether it was going to be 75-25, 50-50. So going out there with a bunch of numbers before they had even settled what that was
Cost
going
sharing
to be.
arrangement would be, yep.
I mean, in my mind, you can panic everybody by telling them one thing and then turn around and they're still voting on it. It just seems silly.
Do we know as of today what the cost sharing arrangement will be?
I believe at the last meeting, they voted on 75-25.
Yes.
Do we know as of now what the transitional budget will be?
Ask Bob, he was on the committee.
We did come up with a number, but I don't remember what it is.
I think it was
I
225.
think so.
Not that I was throwing him under the bus, I'm sorry.
You are,
I did not know. I did
You're
not know.
standing up for it, and I get fired up. I'm not trying to be
No.
insulting.
So
I'm
Jason, I'm
worried.
not standing up for anything, right, wrong, in, out. What I'm stating are the facts that I know to me.
Yeah.
And I can say I sat at that chair right behind you at the last meeting, and they were still discussing what those numbers were going to be. So the fact, and this was at the same meeting that they were still discussing finalizing that pamphlet. So I get where you're coming from, but I don't want to go on the record or be told I'm on the record saying I'm for it, defending it, or against it, because I'm not for or against it. I haven't made up my mind. And I haven't made up my mind because, in my opinion, the numbers haven't been hashed out yet. Now, with that said, they're having this public forum on the withdrawal agreement that was approved by the Commissioner of Education with contingencies. But there's also going to be a required public hearing before the vote is held, in which all of these things, in my opinion, should be readily available to everybody in all three towns, because I know if I go to a meeting on November 4th and they don't have numbers in front of me that are going to show me how much my taxes are going up, I won't support this. But that's just me.
Hang on. Yes, Sandra?
So you said a meeting this Thursday?
Yes.
Would you be willing to maybe take the minutes from this, but go and share that this is a concern and that
Right.
people want some final numbers, and then just share, let's find ways to share that with the community. If we have final numbers, here are the final numbers, or the final numbers will be available X date, and this is where.
Yeah, that's it.
So people will.
It's the number one question I get about this process. And so the idea that, not to say it's true, but I would hope that the committee, if they're going to commit to mailing out a pamphlet to all the households in these towns, would not do so without more explicit financial information. Because I recall I was attending these meetings for a period, asking them to send postcards to each household to solicit people to take the feedback survey on this process, and was told that the cost was not worth it, even though it was less than 1% of their budget, or I think postcards were less than 0.5% of their budget. I was told that it was something that they were not looking at because they didn't see it worthwhile. So if they're finally going to commit to a mailing, I would urge that committee that it provide as sound financial information as possible rather than omitting it because they're unsure.
And it will always be an estimate. It'll always be a range. There's nothing in educational finance that's straightforward. They move the goalposts on us within every school year. You're nodding, so you kind of know. So don't feel wrong to say it's an estimate. That will always be the best you can do, the way that education finance works. But just because you can never land on a hard number doesn't mean you shouldn't give folks a range of what to expect.
Yes.
Because I would pay more, but there's a point at which that's too much. And when I saw $1,000, that's too much to me.
Yeah, it's
$600 is too much to me.
It's the committee's goal to get accurate information to the public for sure. But we're up against a lot of different factors, you know, time being one of those.
Yeah.
Is that this is a very complicated process in a very short period of time. That's why we went to weekly meetings, because it's there's a subcommittee working on the budget. Hopefully they'll have some better ideas for that. The consultant and the attorney are looking at other options as well, that where we could combine services with other districts and try to loop in some savings there. But obviously we didn't want to put anything out until we had a reasonable estimate.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have a lot more answers this Thursday at 6 p.m. here.
Would it be okay if I went to that?
Yeah, there's a public comment period in that as well. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
And I would add, in the district where I work, some of the work is done by the assessors in the town offices of the 3 towns, well, for us we have 4, but in the 4 towns. And it's done by taking the variance of the school budget, so long as your valuation hasn't changed, and they can use that formula and they can make a realistic estimate, no rate change. And in 56, you know, we've had years where a budget has failed 5 times.
Yeah.
We've had years where it's failed once. We've had years where it's gone through. But everybody, whether you're pro more money or anti more money, you like knowing what you're getting when you go to vote. And, you know, how much per $100,000 of home ownership is a clear, straightforward number, and people deserve that information if we can give it to them. And we
how
can.
many times has the school budget failed here?
Just about every year, but it doesn't matter.
Every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then somehow it passes.
I mean, it doesn't somehow pass.
Takes a lot of work to make it
Numbers,
pass.
buddy, numbers.
Magically.
Yeah.
In any event.
The vote of Buckfield does not carry enough weight.
Thank you.
To.
Judy's waving her hand. I assume she wants to talk about this.
Judy, yes?
No, hold on. I muted her.
You're muted.
Oh, we muted you, Judy, sorry.
Talk us back.
There you go.
Okay, listen, may I know the name of the gentleman who has just spoken at such length?
Mr. Long.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, you probably all know, I was on the school committee on SAD 39 back when we voted to go into this consolidation. We were supposed to go with 17, RSU 17. But of course, monetary considerations were always the thing. We were promised great benefits. We were promised, if in the flyer that came out, we were promised great educational benefits. We were promised serious penalties, financial penalties, and we were promised great cost savings of consolidation. None of those 3 things happened. Our educational benefits have gone down. We barely have language, a foreign language in the school. We just don't have it. Also, I don't know if you realize, but from the time we first went into the district in 2009 till now, our school population in our 3 towns has dropped by over 20%. We are in the upper 400s. From 625, 490 something, I'm not sure, 480 something, I'm not sure of the exact number because a confusing number comes out from the school. A lot of people are homeschooling their children. They're not letting them go to our schools, and we don't, well, I don't know the reason. I can just assume that they feel that they can get a better education at home or at a private school, or by tuitioning them to other schools under superintendent's agreements. But that is happening, and we haven't really done a study to find out why. Now, the budget is an estimate. We've had this consultant who helped RSU 56, which is Dixfield and Carthage and all, to withdraw. Dixfield and Carthage did find somewhat of an increase the first couple of years, but then things settled out, and they're very happy. They feel they have much more of a community. Now, we do have a problem. Our three towns have like 31% of the vote. We don't get what we need. Our sixth grade is being moved. Did the town vote to move the sixth grade? No. The RSU decided to move them. Do we have to put in pre-K this year? No, not until 2028. But Superintendent Alden said, "Oh well, we're putting it in the Mexico school. We've got to put it in in Hartford Sumner." A lot of parents are not happy that they have made those changes. And I'm glad you mentioned the septic system. It's terrible. And they have done nothing, and it's been that way for quite a while. And the RSC, they were very careful to move the Mexico children when they found mold in the school. But are they doing anything when children come home and say that the water in the bathroom smells? Also, that they're having problems, you've probably heard, with bed bugs and cockroaches. I mean, the RSU is not paying attention to our schools. As one person who used to work there said, we are low men on the totem pole. We are disregarded. I believe that we have to, yes, we don't want to pay more money, but I do believe that we will be able to manage possibly with less than the estimate. I disagree with the gentleman. I think our estimates were high. We tried to make them high. And I think we will be able to find cost savings. The first year may not be the best, but I do believe that once we come together as a community, our three communities, we can make it work. Now, we did have all three communities vote for this withdrawal, and they appropriated $50,000 each, which was quite a sum, in order to hire a consultant and an attorney. I believe we should all, yes, I do agree with the gentleman, there should be more information in the flyer. That I do. But I wish you would look at the flyer that came out before we voted to go into the consolidation, and not a thing that is in it came to pass. So, and it was all these wonderful things. So please, just the gentleman may not may not want to go with withdrawal, but I think we should listen to what happens at the August 18th meeting and not come to conclusions now. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Yes, Azalea?
I'm gonna try to make this quick. I just want to point out, as someone who has been in this educational system more recently than anybody here present in this meeting, and as someone who has been paying attention to the withdrawal meetings, I hear the frustration about what happened in the past. It actually does not matter anymore. We cannot go back in the past and tell ourselves not to consolidate the schools. The decision was made, we went ahead with it, and we have to deal with the present reality, which is that it will be cheaper to stay in our current district than it will be to withdraw. How much cheaper? It would be wonderful to know. It sounds like we don't have those exact figures yet. We have a new grounds admin at the RSU. Again, you won't catch me saying that the RSU 10 has handled our portion of the district perfectly. But moving into the future, where they have a brand new grounds admin, which people are optimistic means they will have someone who has more of a stake in the state of the grounds. I agree that Buckfield, Hartford, and Sumner should be given more attention. Again, I went to those schools. I know some of you are raising your kids in them. The language consideration, we lost French back when I was in middle school. The teacher retired. They didn't want to raise the funds to have a second language, so we had a Spanish teacher. The Spanish teacher was recently fired. It's a personnel issue. It's not because they just don't want to teach our kids another language. In fact, it's a graduation requirement. As far as the educational quality, I understand that by the numbers, our education perhaps is not comparable to Cape Elizabeth. The education that I received in our Buckfield community schools is something that I really deeply value. It's the reason why I am sitting here on this board, was because of the emphasis that my teachers, not because of educational standards by the state or the federal government, but out of their own want and their own understanding of the impact of civics. They empowered me to engage at the state and local level. And beyond that, there were lots of opportunities for children who weren't traditional learners, which if you'll go into the Buckfield schools, you will find that not many of the kids there are traditional learners by certain standards. We had incredible outdoor programs. I remember Mr. McNaughton would tap trees with us and take us hiking and help us make walking trails. Dr. Gray would let us pace our science classes at our own level so that kids who wanted to get in a head start and have a more relaxing end of the year could, and the kids who needed to take it slower could, and she was there for every single one of them. Those teachers that impacted me and hundreds of other kids are still in those schools, and their jobs rely on the way that we handle this transition, which is exactly why I hope that we can get some more attention and information on the financial aspect of it, because we cannot keep a staff budget flat. That's not how it works. Everybody's cost goes up year after year. We deal with it in the town. It's no different with the school. Same with the cost rising. Cost rising is happening everywhere. It's not just the school. It's in our household budgets. It's in our town budgets. It's in our state budgets. There is nuance to that statement, but again, I'm trying to be brief. And then as far as the homeschooling consideration, 95% of the kids who are homeschooled in the state of Maine, their parents identify as some sort of like fundamentalist Christian. And that is what I experienced at our school, was that the kids who joined our driver's ed classes, who joined our theater programs, and who joined our sports programs from homeschooling programs, their parents were religious and wanted to teach them in a religious way. Other ones were, just a little bit more, their parents wanted to be more hands-on and could afford to provide that sort of education. The point being, we need more education, we need more information on the finances for this town, because that is everybody's number one question. We want our kids to have a quality education, but anyone who has kids in the school understands that that quality education comes with nuances, and what may be tested and produced in numbers does not equate to a quality education. I just hope that we get more information that can be widely disseminated from this community, because I knock on people's doors, I talk to people right in their homes, and I know how little people can afford. I've also taken note of the other school districts who have gone through this. I understand that the towns that withdrew from our district have hit a bit of an equilibrium, but I don't believe anybody who's been through this process has seen the costs go down. They've seen a sharp increase and then either maintained it, perhaps marginally let it go down, but it never goes back to the level it was at before withdrawal, let alone below. For example, Richmond, they're a school that we compete with all the time. Their budget went up $1 million and has maintained that rise for the last 3 or now even 4 years since they've withdrawn. So I perhaps don't have the most up-to-date information with the latest budget passage with some of the schools that have withdrawn, but from what I could tell, it was not a, we'll deal with an increase and then we'll see it lower. It's, we'll deal with an increase and we may be able to mitigate costs in the future, but we also may not. And so I hope we can get some more solid financial information out of this process, because that is not just what people want, but it's what they need right now as we face so many other budget increases in our personal lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cecilia.
All right. We all set to move on? Yep.
Yes,
All
please.
right. Thank you, everybody. So we are going to have executive session this evening. Pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 456A, discuss a personnel matter. I move that we go into executive session.
You gotta make a motion in a second. Bree, you gotta.
What?
He just moved,
I
I'll
move.
second.
Yes. All those in favor?
7:40.
7:40. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we're back on at
8:17.
Yep. And we're out of executive session at this point. Decisions were made. Sure. I'll make a motion. All those in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
make sure you guys sign the,
Signatures.
yeah.
When, after the Rudy call, do you want a transcript?
And can do.
Well, Colleen,